Hello, welcome to Crossing the T's and Dotting the I's with Renny Adejuwon. And today we're going to be focusing on nice, naughty 9-year-olds. That's the title I've given for today's topic. It's still the journey of 12 years of child development with myself. And we are on the ninth year of child development, the ninth year of child development. And we kind of lost a great icon, the Queen Elizabeth II died this month I think on the 6th of September. She died, and my condolences goes out to the family. You know, she's been a great woman throughout history. And with her, one thing that stands out for me is a great sense of humor, because when you work with children, you need to have a great sense of humor. And one particular video of hers stood out for me, which I saw on social media, was when she was chasing a grandson that was trying to catch a chariot, horses, and she ran to catch the grandchild, and other royal household members ran after her. But I really found that as a great sense of humor. I found that that singular clip showed me that she was kind of a woman that was involved, had a sense of humor, and quite practical as well. So heartfelt and condolences to the entire royal family. So, nice, naughty 9-year-olds. That's the title of today's topic. And at the age of 9, boys gathering in large groups and girls in pairs. So at this age, from the age of 9, they're doing this. You can see a distinction between the way the boys gather together and the way the girls gather together. Games with rules are much understood at age 9, and at this age, children understand that the mentality of competition as a group rather than individual activities. So you can see that, when you look back at the age of 6, 7, 8, is more of a personal competition, themselves. But from the age of 9, children are thinking of, as a group, we want to win a competition, and games are beginning to be in that format. This tends to be as a guidance for children at this age for rules and regulations. So because of from the age of 9, children are coming together as a group to compete. They have the understanding of maybe their house, in different schools, when on sports day, the collaborative identity of being part of a house, and they understand that we can win collectively in competition. And it's also like a precedent, a set for them understanding rules and regulation. So this mentality is beginning to kick in at the age of 9. Colby indicates that children wants to avoid punishment and wants to gain a reward. However, are happy to carry on with a task without reward due to being a master at it. So children now, they understand that they want to be rewarded, but more particularly in a way of showing mastery, because they're showing that they are competent in particular task. So that is what they're doing at this age. They're moving away from punishment, but heading towards doing things for reward, but also for their own mastery and competence, and for self gratification. At the age of 9, children use task to become confident and a master at it. Like I said before, wanting to give direction on the task to show off they can do it. So, they're becoming masters in tasks like maybe building blocks, climbing on high frames, going a bit higher. But to show this, like, oh, I am competent, it's like a show off at this age. Become masters of it. They are like, they've got experience, so they want to do this as a show off. So that's what children are doing at this age. At the age of 9, children's individuality begins to show and becomes a distinguishing from another child. You know, their personality, their characters, and this can make them quite unpredictable in their behavior because now, you know, their personality is coming out, their individual characteristics is coming out. So a distinguishing between from one 9-year-old to the other, and you know, you might not predict how they are going to behave. So this is what is going on at the age of 9. You know, their behavior becomes unpredictable, their development becomes unpredictable because of that individuality going on at this age of 9. At the age of 9, children tend to be self-determined, independent from parent, and content with this stage in their lives. So, you know, that individuality, that contentment, that independence, I talked about some of the things from the age of 8. You can go back to listen to those, you know, that developmental process from that age of 8. But now into the 9-year-old, they're becoming content. They're developing independent skills from parents. Children at this age begin to internalize thinking, logic, and intellectual thought in order to prove things to themselves rather than others. So this is that process of where they are at this age of 9. You know, their thought, their logic, it's more internal. They're able to think without speaking it out. And it's all about proving a point to themselves rather than proving it to the other person. And you know, it's that independence, that contentment, that mastery, you know, all coming together from this age. And that is where they are at the age of 9. And research has shown that the brain activity of a 9-year-old leads parents to describe them as being matured. This is what the research has shown. At this age of 9, brain activity movement like dopamine adds to the excitement of a 9-year-old. And this is why, you know, there is a bit of, you know, parents thinking and in the behavior of a 9-year-old, they are being seen as being matured. But also with all the excitement going on due to the dopamine chemicals in their brain, traumatic events may send confusing messages in the brain pathway. And although a supportive adult may help the child to develop healthy thought, and that is what is going on at the age of 9, the brain development, the different pathway, the dopamine giving them excitement, but also the traumatic events, because, you know, children at this age will definitely remember traumatic events that can happen to them. But with the help of a healthy adult, a good adult to support them through this traumatic event, it can help them in having much, much healthier thoughts. At the age of 9, children tend to complain if they are not interested in doing a task. They're happy to show their mastery, they're happy to show their competence, they're happy to show their experience in different tasks. But if they are not interested, the complaining at this age is very much, oh, why do I have to do this? So they are always complaining, and that's the development of their level, of their brain, you know, of their development, of their behavior, because remember I said they are content. But this complaining might be a sign of hiding their anxieties as well. You know, maybe they're anxious about something or a person or a situation. A complaining might be a mechanism for them to hide this. So it's very important for parents to pay attention to being able to identify if they're just complaining because they want to get out of a task, or they're actually complaining because of they're trying to hide their anxieties, their anxiousness due to a particular situation or circumstance. And this leads on from the age of 9 of being, this complaining, being able to go from being very excited about a task or an activity. They want to participate in sports like running, like rugby, like football. They can do that. They can be very, very excited. They can be very, very, happy to take part in that activity. But at the same time, while they've just completed the task, they are so easily to collapse and show tiredness in a sudden activity. They might just go from being 100% excited and 100% tiredness, and that is all due to the brain development as well. The dopamine, I talked about dopamine giving them excitement, wanting to show off their mastery, like showing off their experience. But also, if they are tired, and they display it with animation of being collapsing on the floor. So it's very, very an exciting time for a 9-year-old, developing their identity, developing their personality, distinguishing themselves from one child to the other. But their general aspect of 9-year-old that can relate from one 9-year-old to the other. And one fun fact about 9-year-old is they have this special power of being able to stare. They can stare, and also like putting visual objects very close to their eyes. That is one of the special powers and characteristics of a 9-year-old. They can stare at something. They don't hide, if they're staring, but also wanting to have things very close to their eyes. So I call that a fun fact and a special power. And the last thing for this session is 9-year-old children begin to admire and look up to their older siblings, particularly if they have teenagers. For older siblings, they're kind of idolizing, their teenage older siblings. They're admiring what they're doing. But on the other hand as well, they can be very protective of their younger siblings if they have younger siblings. Very protective when the needs arise. They are happy to stay away from their older siblings so that they don't feel embarrassed by them, or they don't want to associate with them. But in any circumstance they find that maybe a younger siblings need protection, or maybe it's a younger sibling is being bullied or in a good situation, they are very, very quick to jump in protecting that younger sibling. So you can see the contradiction of that, in the sense that looking up to their older siblings, idolizing them at this age of 9 or admiring them, but also on the other side can be very protective of younger siblings. And also, if they are the only child, they are very babyish as well. They're enjoying all attention they're getting from their parents more confidently, but also the complaining part as well. So you can see that a 9-year-old can be like early teen years kicking in the sense that they're complaining, they're showing up their mastery, they're looking onto adult teenagers, older siblings. They are able to work and compete in a group activity. For boys particularly, they work in groups. They're happy to work in groups, while for girls they're happy to work in pairs. So that stage of being more matured, which is what parents tends to say that a 9-year-old tend to be, it's kicking in because of the way their brain is being wired, due to the chemical called dopamine, giving them a bit of an excitement, but also at the same time, they are very, very happy to collapse and say, do you know what? I am not interested in carrying out this activity. So I hope this session has been helpful to you in any way, shape, or form. Go back to listen to my previous, child development on 1-year-old, 2-year-old, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we've got I think 3 or 4 more to go because this is 9. Yes, we've got 3 more to go, which is going to be all about the 10-year-old, 11 and 12-year-old. I hope you find this information useful, and you can find me at rennyadejuwon.com with so many other resources, all the videos I've done before, all the podcasts I've done before. My books can also be found there, and lots of articles to read about on children, parenting, families. So thank you so much for joining me today on Crossing the T's and Dotting the I's with children, parenting and education. And I will see you on the next session. And remember to send in your questions before I forget. Send in your questions, send in your comments, write a comment, send it to me, and I will be happy to answer that question. So I look forward to seeing you on the next session of Crossing the T's and Dotting the I's with Renny Adejuwon. And you can find me at rennyadejuwon.com.